Welcome to my expat stories. I'm standing on a hillside in northern Thailand, staring at overgrown brush and wild trees. 2 months ago, I stood in this exact spot watching workers plant coffee seedlings in neat rows. I've got photos on my phone, cleared terraces, young plants, rich soil prepared perfectly. Ratana standing among them smiling at me. Your coffee's in the ground, Philip. Our future's growing. If you've ever trusted your expertise so completely that you forgot to verify the basics, hit that subscribe button, because that's what 25 years in agriculture will do to you. Here's Philip. Right. My name's Philip. I'm 48. From Somerset. I've been in agriculture my whole adult life. Started at 18 on my family's farm. Learned crop management from my dad. Soil science from doing it. Built a career advising farmers on everything from wheat to barley to sustainable practices. I understand agriculture from the ground up. That's what I thought anyway. By early 2024, I'd saved £65,000. Lived simple. Small cottage. Old Land Rover. Put everything into savings. I wanted to invest in farmland, but in the UK it's mental. 10 to 15 grand per acre minimum for quality land. With my savings, I couldn't afford anything meaningful. Nothing that'd actually produce income. I started looking abroad. Thailand kept coming up. Coffee farming specifically. Coffee prices were strong. Specialty coffee from Thailand was growing in European markets. Northern Thailand's got perfect conditions for Arabica. The altitude, the climate, the soil. Everything I read said it made sense. So I decided to see for myself. March 2024. I took 3 weeks off. Flew to Chiang Mai. I wanted to visit coffee farms. Understand the industry properly. Do it right. First week I spent visiting plantations in the mountains north of the city. Beautiful terraced hillsides covered in healthy coffee plants. The quality was impressive. I talked with farmers about operations, costs, profit margins. Everything suggested this was viable. One afternoon I'm at a coffee shop in Chiang Mai. Proper place. Not tourist. Local spot. Started talking with the owner. Thai bloke named Prasert. Early 50s. Excellent English. We got chatting about coffee, about farming. I told him about my agricultural background, my interest in coffee farm investments. He seemed interested. Genuinely interested. Said he knew several coffee farmers who might be looking for investors or partners. Then he said something that changed everything. I've a friend named Boonmi who owns a 15-acre coffee plantation about an hour north. Been growing coffee over 10 years. Looking to expand but needs capital. Quality operation. You should see it. I was intrigued. This was exactly what I'd been hoping to find. He made a phone call right there. Arranged for us to visit the farm the next day. The following morning, Prasert picked me up in a white Toyota. We drove north into the mountains. Winding roads, small villages, mist-covered hills, dense forests, proper countryside. Remote. Beautiful. After about an hour, we turned onto a dirt road leading up to the plantation, parked near a small wooden house, traditional Thai style, raised on stilts. Boonmi came out to greet us. Thai man in his mid-50s. Lean, weathered from outdoor work, skin dark from sun. Limited English, so Prasert translated. Then she came out. Ratana, his daughter supposedly. Late 20s. Jeans and a white cotton shirt. Hair tied back in a ponytail. No makeup. Natural. She shook my hand. Firm grip. Confident. Spoke perfect English with barely an accent. Welcome to our farm, she said. Smiling. Warm. My father and I'll show you around, please. Ask anything. That should have been my first warning. Professional greeting. Perfect English. But I just thought educated daughter helping family business. Happens all the time. As we walked through the farm, I was immediately impressed. The coffee plants were healthy, properly maintained, laid out on terraced hillsides to prevent erosion. Good technique. Mature plants, 7 to 10 years old based on size and structure. Coffee cherries in various stages of ripeness hanging on the branches. Red, yellow, green. Beautiful. Ratana walked beside me explaining everything. We harvest twice a year. Main harvest, November to February. Smaller harvest, May to June. Depends on rainfall. She knew her stuff. She'd point to a plant and explain the pruning technique they used. Showed me how they managed shade trees to protect plants from too much direct sun. Talked about soil pH levels, fertilization schedules, pest management. I studied agricultural science in Bangkok, she said, looking at me, direct eye contact, confident, specialised in sustainable coffee cultivation. My thesis was on organic methods in mountain agriculture. We're walking through the rows and she's explaining everything, the variety they're growing. Arabica, specifically Catamore and bourbon varieties. How they control pests without heavy chemicals. Neem oil. Companion planting. The importance of altitude for flavour development. 1,300 metres. Perfect range. I asked questions, technical ones, specific, about nitrogen levels, about drainage, about harvest timing. She answered every single one correctly. Not just correctly, expertly, like someone who'd actually studied this. Here's the thing. She was good because she'd studied what good coffee farmers know, what agricultural consultants like me look for. She'd done her homework. But I didn't see that. I saw someone who understood agriculture the way I did, someone who spoke my language. Boonmi showed us his processing area, raised drying beds where cherries were laid out to dry in the sun. The smell of coffee, sweet, fermented slightly. A small building with depulping machine and sorting equipment. Everything looked functional, appropriate for a small farm operation, professional. Bags of processed green coffee beans stacked against the wall, ready for export. He said through Praisert that he sold most to buyers in Bangkok who exported to Europe and Asia. Premium prices for specialty grade. Ratana pulled out a notebook. Handwritten records in neat columns. Numbers. Dates. Yields. Our 15 acres produce 3,000 to 4,000 kilograms of processed coffee per year, she explained, showing me the numbers. We sell for 300 to 400 baht per kilogram, depending on quality grade. Annual revenue around 1.2 million baht. I did the math quickly in my head. Roughly £28,000 sterling. After expenses, she continued, profits around 500 to 600,000 baht per year, about 12 to 14,000 pounds. Those numbers made sense. Perfect sense. The yields were reasonable for a small mountain plantation. Prices consistent with specialty coffee rates I'd researched. Profit margin appropriate. Not inflated. Not suspicious. Just right. As someone who'd advised farmers for 25 years, I could tell this was legitimate. The farm was real. The operation was professional. The numbers added up. Or so I bloody well thought. Over lunch at their house, Ratana explained their situation, their challenge. Adjacent land was available for purchase. Another 10 acres, perfect terrain for expanding the plantation. If we could buy that land and plant it with coffee, she said, leaning forward, production could nearly double within a few years. But we don't have the capital. Banks won't lend to small farmers here. Too risky, they say. Even with our track record. Boonmi said something in Thai. Low voice, serious. Ratana translated. My father estimates we'd need 2.5 million baht, roughly £58,000, to buy the land, purchase seedlings, prepare soil, cover operating costs until new plants mature, and start producing. I asked what they were proposing. Ratana looked at me directly. We're looking for an investment partner, someone to provide capital, in exchange for ownership of the new 10-acre section. You'd own the land and coffee plants, we'd manage operations, share revenue from coffee produced on that section. 70% to you. 30% to us for management and labour. She opened the notebook again, showed me projections. Written out, detailed, professional. Based on our experience, the new section could produce 2 to 2.5 thousand kilograms per year, within 4 years. At current prices, that's significant returns for you. Plus you'd own the land. Asset appreciation. I was interested. Very interested, but I wanted to see the additional land first, verify it myself. Boonmi and Ratana walked us to the adjacent property. 10-minute walk through the existing plantation. The land was currently overgrown with brush and small trees, but the terrain and soil looked similar to the existing plantation. Good slope, good drainage, proper altitude. The land seemed perfect for coffee cultivation. I knelt down, took soil samples with a small kit I'd brought. Old habit. Always verify. Made notes about slope, drainage patterns, sun exposure, wind protection. Everything looked appropriate. Everything checked out. Ratana walked alongside me as I worked. She'd point things out. See how the drainage flows naturally down this slope? That's perfect for coffee. Prevents root rot. And this altitude. We're at about 1,300 metres here. Ideal range for Arabica. Temperature variation between day and night. That's what develops complex flavours. We talked for maybe 20 minutes just about the land, soil composition, water sources, microclimate. She knew exactly what I was looking for because she understood agriculture the same way I did. We spoke the same language, the same technical language that most people don't understand. That's what got me. Not just that the farm looked good, not just that the numbers made sense, but that she understood farming the way I did. 25 years in agriculture, and I'd rarely met anyone who could discuss soil pH and pruning techniques with that level of expertise. Especially not someone her age, especially not someone who looked like her. I told them I needed time to think, to verify legal aspects, to do my due diligence properly. Prasert said that was completely reasonable, professional, expected. He could introduce me to a lawyer who specialised in agricultural land transactions for foreigners, someone named Anuat with an office in Chiang Mai, very experienced with these types of investments. I agreed to meet with the lawyer. That evening back at my hotel, Ratana sent me a text. Thank you for visiting today. It was wonderful to meet someone who truly understands coffee cultivation. Most investors just see numbers on a spreadsheet. You see the plants. You understand what we're building. That means everything to us. I read that message 3 times, sitting on my hotel bed, reading it over and over, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Connection, understanding, recognition. I should have been suspicious, should have questioned why she was texting me, but I wasn't. I was pleased, flattered even. Someone understood what I did, valued it, valued me. Over the next few days I did my due diligence, researched coffee farming economics in northern Thailand, spoke with other coffee farmers I'd met that first week, asked about typical costs, yields, prices, market conditions. Everything Boonmi and Ratana told me aligned perfectly with what I learned independently. The numbers weren't inflated, the projections weren't unrealistic. It all checked out. I examined the soil samples back at my hotel, used a portable testing kit. Quality was good, appropriate pH, nutrient levels suitable for coffee cultivation. Everything proper. Ratana and I kept texting. She'd send photos of the farm, close-ups of coffee cherries ripening, the processing area, workers harvesting. Asked questions about agricultural practices in the UK, told me about her studies in Bangkok, her thesis research, how she'd always wanted to expand their operation but banks wouldn't lend to small farmers. Too much risk, not enough collateral. You understand what we're trying to build, she wrote one evening. Most people don't. They see farming as simple. Plant seeds, wait, harvest. But you know it's science and art together. That understanding, that matters more than money. I'd reply immediately. We'd text back and forth about agriculture, about life, about dreams. She told me about growing up on the farm, learning from her father, deciding to study agriculture formally, coming back to apply modern techniques to traditional farming. I told her about Somerset, about my family's farm, about building a career, advising others while never achieving my own dream of owning agricultural land. She understood. She got it. You should own land, Philip, she wrote. Someone with your knowledge and passion. You deserve to build something of your own. That message, that's the one that sealed it. That's when I decided. I met with Anuat the lawyer, Thai man in his 40s, professional office, proper documents, well spoken. He explained how foreign ownership of agricultural land worked in Thailand. Foreigners couldn't directly own agricultural land, but could own it through a Thai company structure or long-term lease agreements. Most secure approach would be purchasing through a company where I held 49% of shares and Thai nominees held 51%, with shareholder agreements giving me control over decisions regarding the land. Standard structure. I'd researched it. It checked out. Anuat said his fee would be 60,000 baht, about £1,400, to handle all legal work, land title verification, company registration, investment agreement with Boonmi, everything proper and legal. I hired him, asked him to verify everything. Boonmi's ownership rights, land titles, everything. Over the next 2 weeks, Anuat conducted his review. Regular updates. Professional. He verified the adjacent 10-acre parcel was available for sale. Title was clear. No liens, no disputes. confirmed Boonmi had a relationship with the current landowner and could facilitate purchase. He prepared an investment agreement, detailed, professional, outlined I provide 2.5 million baht to purchase the land, establish the plantation, cover initial operating costs. Agreement specified I'd own the land through the company structure and receive 70% of coffee revenue from that section once production began. I reviewed everything carefully. The agreement seemed fair and legally sound. Everything proper. During this time, Ratana and I met for coffee twice in Chiang Mai. We talked about agriculture, about our lives, about what we wanted to build. Most people think farming's simple, she said during our second meeting. Blue blouse, silver bracelet. Ordered her coffee. Black. No sugar. But you know it's science and art together. Understanding soil, understanding plants, understanding weather patterns and timing. It's complex. Beautiful. I was falling for her. Not just because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she understood the thing I dedicated my life to. The thing most people found boring. She found it fascinating. We talked for 2 hours that day. About coffee, about sustainable agriculture, about climate change impacts on farming, about our dreams. She wanted to build something significant. Not just a 15-acre farm, something that could support the local community, provide good jobs, sustainable practices. With your expertise and my local knowledge, she said, looking at me, we could build something really special, Philip. We could. I believed that. I really did. I signed the agreement. Boonmi signed. Anuak witnessed, said he'd register the company and process the land purchase. Final step was transferring the investment capital. Boonmi provided bank account details for the new company. I transferred £58,000 from my UK account. My entire savings, except for 7,000, I kept as emergency fund, approximately 2.5 million baht. Transfer completed within a few days. Boonmi confirmed receipt. Said he'd begin the land purchase process immediately and start preparing land for planting. I stayed in Thailand another week to see initial work begin. Boonmi hired workers to clear brush from the new land. Showed me coffee seedlings he'd ordered from a nursery. High-quality bourbon variety. Took me to meet the landowner of the adjacent parcel to discuss the purchase. Old Thai farmer. Friendly. Didn't speak English but nodded and smiled. Everything seemed to be progressing properly. Professionally. Real. On my last evening, Ratana and I had dinner in Chiang Mai. Proper restaurant. Not tourist, local place. We talked about the future. About what the expanded farm could become. You're not just an investor, Philip, she said, looking at me across the table. Candlelight. Her eyes warm. Genuine. You're part of this now. Part of our family. Part of what we're building together. She reached across the table. Touched my hand. Left it there for a moment. I hope you'll come back soon. Not just to check on the investment, but to see us. To see me. My heart pounded. Proper pounded. I'm 48 years old and my heart's racing like a teenager. I'll come back, I said, soon as I can. She smiled, squeezed my hand. I'll be waiting. I flew home the next day feeling like I'd made the smartest decision of my life. Not just the investment, but meeting Ratana, finding someone who understood, who cared, who saw me. Ratana and I stayed in contact. Messages every few days. She'd send photos of the land being prepared, workers clearing brush, soil being turned, progress updates. Professional but personal. In May, she sent a photo of seedlings being planted. Neat rows on the terraced hillside. Your coffee's in the ground, Philip, she wrote. Our future's growing. Our future. She said our future. By June, the texts became more personal. Good morning messages, questions about my day. She'd tell me about life on the farm, about her dreams, about missing our conversations. I miss talking with you, she wrote one evening. Most people here don't understand agriculture the way you do. Don't understand me the way you do. I'd reply immediately. We'd text for hours. About everything. Agriculture, life, Somerset, Thailand, dreams, hopes, everything. In July, she sent a photo of herself standing among the young coffee plants, smiling, sunlight behind her. Beautiful. They're growing well, Philip. Come see them soon. Come see me. I was already planning my return trip. September. I'd go in September. See the progress. See the farm. See her. Then early September, everything changed. I got a message from someone I didn't know. Thai man. Said he owned the land I thought I'd invested in. Said there'd been a mistake. A serious mistake. He needed to speak with me urgently about unauthorised use of his property. My stomach dropped, went cold. Ice. I tried to contact Ratana immediately. Sent messages, multiple. Called her number. Nothing. Straight to voicemail. Thai voicemail message I couldn't understand. I tried Boon Me. Nothing. Prasert. Nothing. Anuat. Nothing. Everyone gone. Vanished. That cold, sick feeling spread through my entire body. My chest. My arms. My head. I knew. I bloody well knew. I booked a flight that same day. Landed in Chiang Mai 36 hours later. Didn't sleep. Couldn't sleep. Just sat there on the plane thinking about those text messages, those photos, that smile. I rented a car, drove straight to the farm, up that winding mountain road, through those small villages, up that dirt road. My hands shaking on the steering wheel. The wooden house was empty, door hanging open. Inside was bare. No furniture, no equipment, nothing. Just an empty shell. Abandoned. I walked to where the processing area had been. The drying beds were gone. The depulping machine. Everything. All removed, like it had never been there. I drove to the adjacent property. The land I'd supposedly purchased. The land where Ratana had sent photos of seedlings being planted. Overgrown brush. Wild trees. Untouched wilderness. I walked to where I'd taken those photos in March, where I'd knelt down and tested the soil, where Ratana had stood next to me, explaining drainage patterns and altitude and perfect conditions. I pulled out my phone, found the photo from May, cleared land, neat rows of seedlings, workers planting, Ratana smiling. I looked at the land in front of me. Nothing. Just wild brush and small trees growing thick. Untouched. Like no one had ever worked this land at all. Like those photos never happened. The photos were from somewhere else. Or they were old photos from someone else's farm. Or they were staged on a different plot. I don't know. I'll never know. I stood there for maybe 15 minutes. Just stood there. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. Just stood there staring at untouched wilderness where my future was supposed to be growing. £58,000. Gone. 6 months of messages. Gone. Ratana touching my hand. I hope you'll come back soon. Come see me. Gone. All of it gone. All of it fake. All of it lies. I drove to the tourist police office in Chiang Mai. Filed a report. Showed them everything. Bank transfers, text messages, photos, the investment agreement. Everything. The detective was sympathetic but not surprised. He'd seen this before, many times before. His investigation revealed everything over the next week, every horrible detail. The coffee farm I'd visited belonged to a man named Narong. He'd owned and operated it for 12 years. Had no idea his property had been used for fraud. No idea at all. Narong had allowed educational tours of his farm, groups of students, agricultural researchers, sometimes foreign visitors interested in Thai coffee cultivation. He'd charge a small fee, supplemental income. 5,000 baht per tour. Seemed harmless. Prasi approached me about 8 months ago, Narong told the detective. I was there for the interview, sat there listening. Said he had foreign investors interested in learning about coffee farming. Asked if he could bring small groups to tour my operation. Offered to pay well. I agreed. Seemed legitimate. Prasert had brought several groups over those months. Narong thought they were legitimate educational visits. Proper tours. The groups would tour the farm for a few hours, Narong explained. Sometimes Prasert's associates would answer questions and explain operations. I thought they were just translating or helping with explanations for foreign visitors. I didn't know. I had no idea they were claiming to own my farm. Boonmi wasn't the farm owner, probably wasn't even his real name. Ratana wasn't Boonmi's daughter, almost certainly not her real name either. The detective found evidence they'd run similar scams. At least 3 other coffee farms in northern Thailand had been used the same way. Educational tours that were actually investor presentations. They identify successful farms willing to host tours, the detective explained, his voice flat. Professional. Then they bring investors and claim to own the operations. Everything the investor sees is real. The farm is real. The coffee plants are real. The processing equipment is real. The only lie is who owns it. The adjacent 10 acres I thought I'd purchased was owned by a different farmer who'd never listed it for sale, never met Boonme, never authorised any transaction, had no idea his land was being used in a scam. They researched land ownership records, the detective said, find parcels near farms they can access, then create fake purchase scenarios for land that isn't actually available. Anuat, the lawyer, was part of it. His office was a virtual address, shared office space. The documents he'd prepared were forgeries. The company registration was never filed. The land title verification he'd shown me was fabricated. Fake. All of it fake. The 2.5 million baht I'd transferred went to an account controlled by the scammers. Money moved out of Thailand within 48 hours. Philippines, Hong Kong, then disappeared into cryptocurrency. Untraceable. Unrecoverable. Gone. The detective found 2 other victims, a Dutch agricultural consultant, Henrik, lost £42,000, a Belgian farming equipment supplier, Marco, lost £53,000, both shown the same farm, the same coffee plants, the same professional operation, both convinced it was legitimate, both fell for Ratana's expertise and charm. Henrik had actually helped plan the expansion during his visit, discussed irrigation systems, advised on optimal planting density, technical details. I gave them free agricultural consulting, Henrik said when the detective connected us by phone. His voice broken, destroyed. Detailed advice on how to maximise yields. They took notes, asked intelligent questions. I thought I was helping develop their farm. They were just making the performance more convincing. Marco had been texting with Ratana for 3 months before investing. She'd asked his advice on equipment purchases, sent him photos almost daily, built a relationship. I thought we had something real, Marco said, his voice cracking. Not just business, personal. She'd send good morning messages, tell me about her day, ask about mine. I was planning to move to Thailand, to be with her and help run the farm. He went quiet for a moment, then. It was all fake. All of it. Every word. Every message. Every smile. Fake. Combined losses across 3 victims exceeded £153,000. The detective said the perpetrators had left Thailand, probably in Philippines or Vietnam now, running the same scam somewhere else. Money was unrecoverable. Investigation would continue, but prospects were bleak. Very bleak. I'm sorry, he said, looking at me. Genuine sympathy. This is sophisticated operation. They target people with agricultural knowledge specifically, because those people trust their expertise too much. They think they cannot be fooled because they understand farming. That confidence, that's what these people exploit. I returned to Somerset in October, completely destroyed, £58,000, my entire savings, 25 years of careful saving. Gone. Just gone. Vanished. Not just the money, though. It was Ratana, those messages, those conversations about agriculture, the way she'd looked at me across the table, candlelight, the way she touched my hand. You're part of this now, Philip. Part of our family. Part of what we're building. I hope you'll come back soon. Come see me. I'll be waiting. All of it calculated. All of it fake. All of it performance. I'd fallen for her because she understood farming the way I did. She'd done her research, learned the technical language, the concepts, the details, everything an expert would look for. Then she performed it perfectly. Every text was designed. Every photo was staged. Every conversation was scripted. Every smile was fake. Every touch was manipulation. The woman I thought I was falling for didn't exist. Playing a role, destroying lives. That's my story. I'm back in Somerset now, 48 years old, still working as an agricultural consultant, advising other farmers, helping them avoid mistakes, all while never achieving my own dream of owning agricultural land. That dream's gone now. Dead. Destroyed. I've got £7,000 left. My emergency fund, that's it, that's all. Starting over at 48 with £7,000 and broken trust and the knowledge that 25 years of expertise meant nothing when it mattered most. Ratana sent me good morning messages for months, told me I understood what they were building, told me I was part of their family, touched my hand at dinner, smiled at me. I'll be waiting, Philip. She was studying how to destroy me, learning my weaknesses, finding my vulnerabilities, planning exactly how to take everything. And it worked. Perfectly. This is my expat stories. Stay sharp out there.